Hello and welcome back to Get Great at Maths. I'm here to help you pass your maths exam, so hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to look at keywords, key formulas and how to gain top marks. So let's get ready to get great at maths. This is a question on finding factors. You've got to tick all the numbers that are factors of both 54 and 72. This will give you 1 mark in the exam. So it says tick the numbers. So because it says tick the numbers, you're going to be ticking more than one answer. And you've got to work out how many of these boxes you need to tick. So your key fact is that a factor is a number that goes into another number. And by looking at these answers here, you've got to see that it's a number that goes into both of these numbers. Otherwise, the numbers here would be bigger. So it kind of gives it away in the question that the factor is the number that goes into it. Press pause and see if you can think about which of these numbers goes into 54 and 72, and then press play when you've got your answer. Fantastic work. So I'm actually just going to write down the list of factor pairs for 54 and for 72, just so you can see where the working's coming from. In the exam, you'll probably just look and say, does 2 go into both of these numbers? Yes, it does, because it is even and they can be both divided by 2. So the first one is an easy tick. But I'm just going to list all the factors first, and then it will make it easier to do the other ones. So starting off with number 54, obviously 1 goes into every single number. So 1 is my first factor, and 1 times 54 is 54. Now you can write them next to each other and then go down in a list. So 1 times 54, 2 times whatever, 3 times whatever, 4, and then see like that. Or you can write them as a long list like this. You might need to leave a big gap because you don't know how many numbers are going to fit in between. The next one we're going to look at is dividing by 2. So we're going to be halving 54. We know it goes into 2 because this is even. Half of 50 is 25. Half of 4 is 2. So that means we've got 27 is 2 times 27 gives me 54. If we add the digits, 5 plus 4 is 9. So 9 is a multiple of 3. So this means this number can be divided by 3. How many times it goes in to divide by 3? We're divided by 3 goes at the front. 54 is what we're dividing into. 3 into 5 is once. There are 2 left over, so that gets written here. And 3 into 24 goes 8. So it goes in 18 times. So 3 times 18. So it's a nice little check to see if a number is divisible by 3. So if you add these digits, 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so is 54. The next one we're going to look at is 4. So we know that half of 54 was 27, and this is an odd number, so we can't halve it again, which means 4 doesn't go into it. 5 is the next number. This number doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, so it doesn't go into 5. Next number is 6. So you should know your 6 times table, and you should know that 6 times by 9 is 54. So these are all the factors of 54. If you notice here, we're coming to 2 numbers which are quite close to each other. 7 and 8 is 56, which is close to 54. So 7 and 8 aren't going to fit in that gap in there. And this isn't a square number, so it's not going to be a repeated number in between. So we know we've got all the factor pairs. We're going to do the same for the number 72. So far you can see that 2, 3, so 2's in, 3's in, 4 isn't, so this one's going to be left blank, 8 isn't, and 9 is. So it's going to be the top 2 and the bottom one, but we've got to see if that is the same for 72. So again, starting with 72, always start with 1 times 72 is 72. This is even, so we know 2 goes into 72. And half of 70 is 35, half of 2 is 1, so that's 36. If we add the digits again to check whether it's divisible by 3, 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so we know that 72 goes in, can be divided by 3. So that means we've got a 2 and a 3, 2 and a 3 in here, so the top 2 boxes here can be ticked. Dividing 72 by 3, we need to do division unless you know what it is off the top of your head. 3 into 7 goes twice. There is 1 left over which gets put here. So we've now got 3 into 12 goes 4 times, so we've got the number 24. 4 into 72, so we know 2 went in 36, 36 is even, so that means 4 will go in. So we've just got to half 36. So you should know half of 30 is 15, half of 6 is 3, 15 plus 3 is 18. The next number is 5. 5 doesn't go into 72 because it doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, so it's not a 5. Then we've got 6. So 6 into 72, you should know your 6 times table, and you should know 6 times 12 is 72. 7 doesn't fit into 72, but 8 does. And you should know your 8 times table, for 8 times 9 is 72. These numbers are next to each other, which means there are no numbers to fit in between. So these are all the factors of 72. So if we look at the two lists, we know that 2 is in both, 3 is in both, 4 is in the bottom one but not the top one, 8 isn't in the top one but it is in the bottom one, and 9 is in both of them. So the ones you need to tick are the number 2, the number 3, and the number 9. These are both factors of 54 and 72. You didn't need to write down this long list. You actually didn't even need to do the division sum here to work out how many times 3 went into the numbers. All you needed to know that these numbers were divisible by 3. So remember to check it's divisible by 3. Add the digits. Are they a multiple of 3? Yes, it is. So it's divisible by 3. And then you need to know which ones of these it is. So you could have just gone through the 2 times table. Are these both in the 2 times table? Yes. In the 3 times table? Yes. 4 times table, you'd have to work out that you couldn't halve 54 and halve it again. So no, it wasn't. 8, you need to know your 8 times table to see if these numbers are both in your 8 times table. And 9, they were both in your 9 times table. So you just needed to look through that way. Give yourself a big tick if you got those correct. Great work, well done. The mark scheme shows there's 1 mark or 1 M for getting all 3 answers, 2, 3 and 9 all correct. If you found this video useful, please share, like and subscribe so we can all get great at maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Please follow Get Great at Maths on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and X. What do you want to see next on Get Great at Maths? Please comment below. See you next time.